Now let's compare it to my game here versus Danny. So again, we kind of saw in the QC game the issues with his defense and how he wasn't really showing, a blitz look. He wasn't, he just wasn't disguising his defense. So not only was there's no blitz ups, but he didn't. He told us pre-snap what exactly his coverage was. Again, here in this game versus Danny, he did a much better job. And again, a lot of people started utilizing this mid blitz. And I kind of put people onto this earlier in the year, and it was a really good defense because obviously it has the immediate blitz threat, and you can play still good coverage defense out of it from that blitzing look. So, and I think a lot of times people kind of have this uh, are under this illusion that you just have to blitz every time when you're running a blitzing style of defense. Again, just because you have a good blitz doesn't mean you have to use it. Again, you can still utilize a lot of coverage defense while still benefiting from the looks, while still benefiting from having the threat of pressure. Because again, you're gonna get people to block extra people a lot more consistently. So again, as you guys saw uh, versus QC, I sent 5 people out in a route every single time because again, he didn't show that threat of pressure. Whereas in this game versus Danny, again, I mixed it up a lot more because again, I wasn't exactly sure what he was gonna if he was blitzing or playing coverage. So again, you're gonna see me mix up, how many people I was sending out in a route. Again, this time I sent out 5. Again, Danny only blitzed like 4 people here. Again, he's still doing a good job of mixing up, blitz or coverage. So again, it's a risk. It's definitely a risk to send 5 out in a route because I know that I'll have to make a quick read. And again, I'm one of the few pros that are gonna send, that do like to send 5 out majority of the game. But again, I want to show this gameplay because again, even here, even someone like me who likes to send 5 out a lot, even versus blitzing looks, again, I am gonna mix in more max protection and sending only 4 people on a route. Again, as you see here, I'm gonna try to burn his aggressive defense over the top here and hope I can catch him blitzing. But again, this Danny, again, I don't know if this is going to be a blitz or coverage because again, he comes down the box. This is how you should do it. He comes down, hovers, whether it's blitz or coverage. Again, he makes it look the same. So I never knew pre-snap whether it was going to be blitz or coverage. So again, I also run the risk here of only sitting 3 out in a route. If Danny's in coverage, again, it's going to be really tough to get someone open here. So again, I really gotta anticipate that it's going to be a blitz. Even though even with the Max Pro here. He was able to scream. And again, he's just basically utilizing the +1 concept that we were talking about where, again, I'm blocking 7 people, but, he sent 7 plus, he engaged with his user. So, again, the guy came in free. Here again, I'm worried to kind of send out my running back here because, again, he's mixing up sending 5, manning up my running back sometimes. So, again, you're not, as you saw in the QC game, is 5 out every time. But again, versus this guy, I can't just send 5 out, every single time because, again, I run the risk of having to make a quick read every time versus, immediate pressure. So, again, it's so vital to have this illusion of pressure here because, again, you see how it's altering my play calls. Again, I'm not just sending 5 out in a route. I'm mixing it up. It's either 5 out, then it's max pro, then I'm sending, my running back. All blocking my running back. So again, this style of defense was much more difficult to go up against. Again, I couldn't really predict pre-snap what was going on. So again, even here, again, block the tight end. Again, you are never gonna see me block my tight end versus QC, I promise. And even here, again, just utilizing that +1 concept, Danny was able to scream at me and hold me to 3. Again, whereas in the QC game, he never really came close to a stop until I got inside the 5. I'll skip ahead here. Just kind of show one more drive. Again, I'm hoping you guys are seeing from this, from these comparisons, from these case studies, how important, why it's important just to even show, just to have the threat of pressure. Again, even if you're not using it, because again, it's greatly changing how I'm altering my play calls. And again, here, again, I am going to pop him here, but Again, I'm never gonna call a play like this if if he doesn't have all these guys up in the box like this. Again, look at how scary this is. Again, do you really want to send 5 people out on a route versus every time? Yeah, you really don't. It's just a million people up in the box. It's like, man, I'm gonna have 1 second to throw if I send people out. So again, it's kind of a risk to send out people out versus a look like this. Whereas like in the game like QC, again, it wasn't risky at all. Again, he didn't play good coverage defense out of this, but again, it's making me again, you're gonna see me mix up, 3 out on a route, 4 out on a route, 5 out on a route. Again, it wasn't nearly as predictable